Hello, and thank you for tuning into the word today. I just want to give you a word of encouragement coming from the book of Joshua with its prophetic message that records how Israel's season of wandering in the wilderness ends and how their time in the land of Canaan began. See, in this book, God fulfills his promise that the Israelites would indeed enter, overcome, and occupy the promised land. And we can rest assured that when God makes a promise to us, then that promise is definitely for us. In Joshua 1:6, the Lord tells Joshua, "Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shall thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swore unto their fathers to give them." See, this book, the sixth book of the Bible, it is often called the book of conquest because the Israelites did conquer the Canaanites. And all the accounts of the book of Joshua dates as far back as 1405 to 1385 BC. That is east of the Jordan River. See, Joshua 1:4 says, "From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, which is east of all the land of the Hittites, that is the people of Ham, Noah's son, and unto the great sea to the west, towards the going down of the sun, shall be your coast." And in that region, we see Joshua, Caleb, Rahab, Achan, Eleazar, Aaron's son, and Phinehas, Aaron's grandson. And the land that was once called Canaan, today it is now called the land of Israel. So the book of Joshua, it begins after the death of Moses, where God would soon command Joshua to lead the Israelites to march before the wall of Jericho. See, Joshua 1:1-2 says, "Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass, for the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore arise," in other words, get ready and go over across this Jordan River, "thou and all this people unto the land in which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel." And we too, as Christians, we got to be ready to do whatever God has called and anointed us to do. See, Joshua 8:4 says, "And he commanded them, saying, Behold, ye shall lie in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be ye all ready." And although the scripture calls Joshua Moses' minister, the Lord called Moses his servant. See, this lets us know as Christians, we can't be a servant of the Lord and not minister unto others. See, Joshua 11:15 says that as the Lord commanded Moses his servant, so did Moses command Joshua, who was his minister, and so did Joshua minister. That is, Joshua cared for God's people, and Joshua left nothing undone of all that the Lord commanded Moses. See, Joshua was a good steward over the things that God had called him to do, and his stewardship prepared him for leadership. See, 1 Peter 4:10 says, "As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God." See, Joshua's call was to follow leadership and to do what God had already commanded Moses. And Joshua, he followed Moses even in life. See, as Moses parted the Red Sea, leading the Israelites to Mount Sinai, Joshua parted the Jordan River, leading them to Canaan. As Moses gave the Israelites the 10 Commandments, Joshua came back and gave them the Torah. As Moses sent spies into Canaan to scope out the land, Joshua also sent spies into Canaan. And just as Moses gave his final words to Israel, Joshua gave his final words to the children of Israel as well. Because of Joshua's willingness to follow Moses in ministry, it allowed him to become God's servant. Matthew 4:19, Jesus told his disciples, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And in Joshua's final words to Israel, he charges them to follow the instructions and the commandments of God. Joshua 22:5 says, "But take diligent heed to do the commandments and the laws of which Moses, the servant of the Lord, charged you, to love the Lord your God and to walk in all his ways and to keep his commandments and to cleave unto him and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul." Today's word is the book of Joshua. It's not just about how the Israelites conquer the Canaanites to take the promised land, but it is also about how the battle for victory and how it won by faith, and that's in God's hands. Because 1 John 5:4 says, for whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. So when the battles of life are raging and occurring in our own lives, we know that there's no battle that God hasn't already won, and the enemy can't defeat us. Joshua 23:5 says, and the Lord your God, he shall expel, that is, dismiss them from before you, and drive the enemy out of your sight, and ye shall possess their land, as the Lord your God has already promised unto you. And we may not always know what God's overall plan is for our life, but like the Israelites, we live our life by faith, trusting in God. And as 2 Chronicles 20:15 says, thus said the Lord unto you, be not afraid, nor dismayed by reason of their great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's. You be blessed.